For this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do the double treble crochet stitch, or the double triple depending on how you see it listed, but they're both the same thing. I've done 10 chain crochet stitches just as a start, just so it'll be quick to show you, but anyway, you yarn over your hook 3 times for this. It's a very tall stitch, and you go into the 6th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go through, yarn over, pull up a loop, then you pull through 2 loops, pull through the next 2 loops, pull through the next 2 loops, and then the last 2 loops. And you end up with a really tall, kind of loopy stitch that almost looks like a letter D if you stretch it out. But anyway, so next stitch, you just go around it 3 times again, into the next chain. See, luckily this is going to be a short video because I only did a few chains to have to work with. Next 2, next 2, last 2. You see, it almost looks kind of like bars on a window almost, but I mean, basically the stitch is used for overlaying onto work of a different stitch that's already existing in your work, like single or double crochets that are just plain, and then you go back and work over your work, and you do this on top of it, sort of like a lattice work almost, and it just gives a kind of a cool effect. It's pretty, so, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head where you would use the stitch, but I'm sure there's others out there that I haven't run across yet, because I'm still new at this, so. Anyway, almost done with this row. Just 2 more to go. And then I'll show you how to turn your work around, and then I'll end this. Oops, through both. See, the one thing with this stitch is that you have to keep pulling it around to make it line up, but it's not too bad. They just tend to wiggle around a lot, and that's okay. Go through 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, and last 2. You just have to remember that it is a 4-piece stitch to go all the way through. So, okay, end of the row, and it looks like this for a single row. Now to go to your next row, you chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn it around, and that counts as your first triple double crochet stitch. I can talk. Double triple crochet stitch for this row, and then you just go into the next stitch and keep going. Because since this already counts, you just go into the 2nd stitch on the row to start the next row. And just cruise along. That's really all there is to it. It's not that hard, it's just a little weird to get used to at first because it's such a big bulky stitch to work with, but it pays off. Unwrap some more from my ball of yarn. And see, it just goes right along there. To the next, I'll just finish up this row so you can see how it looks. Part of it slipped off there. And make sure not to lose that last stitch at the end of the row. It's always a little tricky getting it on there, but not impossible. See what I mean? It's a little tricky. Front half, back half. Wait. See, it just slides off the hook. You have to play with it a little to get it. Okay, got it. Then you just work 2 loops, 2 loops, 2 loops, and 2 loops, and you are done. And this is what it looks like. Well, if I could get my hands out of the way. Okay. And that's all there is to it.